Two countries, Belgium and Switzerland, 39 French departments will be traveled through during the 2012 tour. The ADF, French Department Assembly, will gather together at the end of the week. The ADF and ASO work together, as you might know, for the tour. I would therefore like to give a round of applause to the elected people, those who will welcome you in their cities, their departments, their regions, and who are with us today. The Tour de France will settle in Liège during the last week of June. The headquarters and press room will be open on Wednesday the 27th. Rider presentation on Thursday the 28th, and in the heart of the city, at the Parc d'Avoie, the tour will take off on Saturday the 30th of June. One by one, the riders will go through the Boulevard de la Sauvenière, along the Meuse to Labatt, then left to the Place Saint-Lambert and the Provincial Palace. And once again, they will go through the Boulevard de Sauvenière and Boulevard d'Avoie in the opposite way, all the way to the finish line. The circuit is the same as in 2004, 6,100 meters flat. Fabien Cancellara had won that prologue in 2004. Sunday, 1st of July, starts from Liège, 198 kilometers on the hilltops of Barraque de Fréture, heading to Seraing. Seraing that has already welcomed the Tour de France twice. In 95, Miguel Indurain had won. In 2001, a fantastic sprinter, Eric Zabel, had triumphed. In 2012, it'll probably be an attacker, and why not a great puncher, who should win. The finish will be at the top of the 2-kilometer climb, including 600 meters at 8% and a maximum 14%. Monday, 2nd of July, second stage, Visé-Tournai. Visé was already a host city for the Tour of Liège, the Tour de la Région Wallonne, the Tour of Belgium. But it's first time on the Tour de France. We'll leave the Liège province, going through Namur and its famous castle. And it should end up in a mass sprint in Tournai. Tournai, a classic of the Circuit Franco-Belge, had set up a candidacy with Orchy. The two commons, Belgium and France, will see their desires come true. Tuesday, 3rd of July, certainly a different scenario between Orchy and Boulogne-sur-Mer, a first half flat, then hilly, and a very demanding finish in the mounts of the Boulonnais. Some very difficult climbs all the way to the finish line. A finish line is the same, almost the same as for the French Championship, where Sylvain Chavanel had won. A day where the Tour favourites should be in the lead. A very difficult finish. After the Tour of Picardie, several times, Abbeville will welcome the Tour de France for the first time on the 4th of July. The fourth stage will take us to Rouen, where the Tour started twice, the last time in 1997. Before that, 1951. That year, Jacques Anquetil had captured the yellow jersey as soon as the first evening, never to give it up, all the way to Paris. On the day, we'll have 100 kilometers by the sea in Seine-Maritime. Should be a windy stage. We then leave Normandy to go back to Picardie, Rouen, Saint-Quentin, stage 5, Thursday, the 5th of July, 197 kilometers. After 5 days of racing, we'll already be on the Champs-Élysées of Saint-Quentin, the most sporting city of France elected. In 2006, the last meters saw the triumph of Robbie McEwen. It was the same day as the World Cup final between Italy and France. Friday, 6th of July, stage 6, from Épernay, going through Lorraine all the way to Metz. The riders will, like in 2010, go along the Avenue de Champagne, where champagne is produced. 110 kilometers of cultures. In Metz, the finish will be staged by the Centre Georges Pompidou, a very successful museum, the most successful museum of France outside of Paris. The next day, time for attackers and climbers. The pack will leave Tromblaine next to Nancy, heading to Vosges and La Planche des Belles Filles. If you don't know Tomblaine, it is where the Stade Marcel Picot is settled, the first club of Michel Platini. That's 7th of July. The course will be hilly, with the Plateau des Mille Étangs in the area of Haute-Saône, with great TV footage, certainly. And at the finish, a very difficult climb. It should enter in the memories of the Tour de France followers. All the stages have been checked out by the members of ASO in cars, but also sometimes on bikes. Thierry Gouvenou and Gilles Maignan tested out that stage going to Planche des Belles Filles. Off we go. 6 kilometers of climbing after 193 kilometers in the legs. Hilly to get here. Difficult straight from the bottom. First kilometer is at 9.5%. We're stuck in the forest. You look for the horizon, but never see it. Still in the woods. It's never flat. Tough. Really steep, 14%. First turn after 1.5 kilometers. Second turn. Except for a 500-meter flat portion, it's very tough. 11.5% here. 4 kilometers. We're starting to see the horizon. The first ski lifts. It's looking good. Let's give it a go. Great form for our former riders who work for ASO. That was the Planche des Belles Filles and its legend, symbolized by its wooden statue. This climb should be very entertaining, and currently there are works to finish off the road. The average on the last 300 meters, 14%. And a passage at 20%. A great moment you shouldn't miss. Shouldn't miss either the 8th stage, short stage in the Jura. It'll take off from Belfort. And it's a famous lion. First visit of Belfort 100 years ago. Series of hills and climbs. 7 climbs, including 5 in at least second category. After the Swiss border, difficult climbs. 3 very difficult mountains. The Côte de Saulcy, including 5% at over 8%. Then the Côte de la Caquerelle, 4 kilometers at 7.5%. And then the Col de la Croix at the top. You'll then have to go down to Porrentruy. Finish of the Tour de Romandie on several occasions. The Col de la Croix is short, 3.7, but very steep, over 9% of climbing, including a maximum 18%. Next day, riders and favorites will take on a time trial in the department of Doubs, between Arc, Essenans and Besançon. The Tour du Doubs is also one of the races there, organized by the Ligue Nationale de Cyclisme, and won this year by Tony Galopin. This time trial will be under the sign of the UNESCO with the prestigious Saline Royale d'Arc-Senan and the Vauban Castle. 38% on the day, rather flat at the beginning, and then hilly, going through the little village of Quingey, and then down to Besançon in the last part. Tuesday, the 10th of July, we will be in Mâcon. It'll be the first rest day of the Tour de France. It'll be an opportunity to organize the Tour de l'Avenir press conference, won last month by a young Colombian. A brilliant French team at the Tour de l'Avenir, but also at the World Championships with Pierre-Henri Le Cuisinier in the juniors, and a double with Arnaud Demar and Adrien Petit in the under-23. Actually, Amaury Sport Organization will sign an agreement with the French Federation to help the young French riders. The Tour of today is fascinating, and that of the future will be even more impressive. And that is also why in 2007 we started what we call the Cyclo Park, to give our children a taste of cycling. And that's also why we've asked a group of junior riders to compete on the final 30 kilometers of every stage. A great moment of dream for these young cyclists. We've also launched contests for young reporters, young journalists, with young riders all along the 3 weeks of the Tour, young journalists. Paula, a young Belgian of 16 years of age, won the contest last summer. We wish to help the young journalists be very rigorous with information. That was the case of Jean-Paul Brouchon, who passed away. He had covered 44 tours, including 31 on a motorbike. He would have certainly enjoyed this 2012 Tour. A big round of applause for this great professional. Wednesday, the 11th of July. The start will be by the City Hall of Mâcon, where promising young sprinter John Degenkolb had won during the Dauphiné. The riders will take the road of Villars-les-Dombes and its bird park. First climb, the Côte de Corlier. A simple taste of what will come. And then a very impressive mountain shows up at the top of the city of Culoz, the city of young French sprinter Christophe Lemaitre. The Tour will climb up the Grand Colombier for the first time in its history. Then will come the Col de Richepont, and then to Bellegarde-sur-Valserine, that would welcome the Tour de l'Avenir in '98 and 2004. First, a flat portion, then hilly, and then very difficult. Let's check out that Grand Colombier with François Lemarchand, Thierry Gouvenou, and Gilles Maignan, who competed in 21 Tour de France between the three of them. Off we go for a 17.5 kilometer climb. It's hard at the bottom. First 1.5 kilometer climb, and I see that the Col de Colombier is open. That'll be difficult. The road gets narrower, already tough. There's really nowhere at all. It's a regular climb. Magnificent. We can see the Rhône River with Lac du Bourget. A succession of turns is okay, it's demanding. It reminds me of the Alpe d'Huez. It's very difficult here. Halfway through. Really steep here. No more turns, just straight forward. Now you can't stay there. It's already tough enough. No yellow flags here. A lot of changes of rhythm in short periods. Big percents. And it'll maybe be windy out here. The last effort. How much left? At the top, 40 kilometers left after the top. The Grand Colombier. At the top, 40 kilometers left through the Col de Richemont with a final straight all the way to Bellegarde. The 11th stage, the 12th of July, 20 years after magnificent Olympic Winter Games. The pack will go through Albertville, take off from Albertville, through the Vallée de la Tarentaise, 25 kilometers climbing the Col de la Madeleine. The top is at 2,000 meters of altitude. The riders will then go down to Saint-Étienne-de-Cuines before taking on the climb up the Glandon and then the Col de la Croix de Fer. We'll then follow the Col du Mollard and then heading down to Saint-Jean-de-Maurienne. A great day for the climbers, and the final climb up to La Toussuire-les-Cibelles, 140 kilometers. The resort of La Toussuire will celebrate its 75 years. Friday, 13th of July, stage 12, from Saint-Jean-de-Maurienne to Annonay-d'Avézieux in Ardèche. A first time for Annonay, a city that welcomed us for Paris-Nice and the Dauphiné. A long day with the Grand Cucheron and the Granier at the beginning of the stage. Good for breakaways. Saturday, 14th of July, stage 13. From the city of Truffe, Saint-Paul-Trois-Châteaux in Drôme, all the way to Cap d'Agde. A tricky final with a Mont-Saint-Clair in Sète. And then 20 kilometers along the sea. It should be windy and tricky. And a man said back in 2009, shouldn't be a Nobel Prize to know that on that day you'll have to be in front. Saturday, 15th of July, the Pyrenees start at Limoux for the second consecutive year. We really enjoyed the welcome of the people from Limoux. The tour will enter Ariège by the Lac de Montbel, just before La Vlanée, and will not leave that department until the finish. It'll be a lot more mountainous after Tarascon. First of all, 11 kilometers of climbing to the Port de l'Hers. Then the biggest part, the Mur de Péguerre, very impressive percents, up to 18%. With an average at 11% on the final 3,500 meters. Péguerre had been on the course of the Tour in '73, but it had never been climbed. A finish in Foix, symbolized by its splendid castle. Monday, 16th of July, Saint-Martin, the capital of foie gras in Gers, will welcome the Tour. We'll be headed to Pau, 160 kilometers further, a day for sprinters. In Pau, city of Henry IV, will be the start of stage 16, the door to the Pyrenees on the 18th of July. We'll be going all the way to Bagnères de Luchon. First giant to climb, the Col d'Aubisque. Then through the Soulor balcony in the Hautes-Pyrénées, feeding zone in Adast. Then we will head to Luz Saint-Sauveur before going up the Tourmalet. I still have 75 kilometers to go and 2 climbs, Aspin, and then Peyrelsourde before heading back down to Bagnères de Luchon, 15 kilometers away. The line will be set Avenue Edmond Rostand, famous writer of Cyrano de Bergerac. Next day, Thursday the 19th of July, the 17th stage, Luchon-Peyragudes, promises to be entertaining, starting with the Col de Monté by its toughest way. Very consistent difficulties on that day. After the Col des Arts, another novelty. The Col de Bure, with some very nice percents, will enter the Vallée de la Barousse. From the bottom of the Port de Balès all the way to the Red Flame, there won't be one flat portion during 50 kilometers. Balès, first of all, then Peyrelsourde, and then the climb up to Peyragudes by the new road heading up to that ski resort. Everything won't be written yet. On the Friday, the 20th of July, the stage 18 from Blagnac, that hadn't welcomed the Tour for over 20 years. We'll be going to Brive, where Mario Cipollini had won. A stage for attackers and sprinters, while the favourites will already be focusing on the final time trial. In Chartres, Bonneval will be the start city. A flat course, windy at first, and then a little bit hillier. Chartres, where Thomas Voeckler had conquered his first yellow jersey in 2004. Before that, the participants of the heart stage for Mécénat Chirurgie Cardiaque will try their luck. A great association to help children suffering from heart diseases. The 20th and final stage will take off from Rambouillet, Sunday the 22nd of July. We'll be in the Département of Yvelines, where Paris-Nice starts. Thanks to a special operation, all cyclists in Yvelines will enter the French capital through the Seine, all the fantastic monuments of Paris. The riders will then take on the final circuit. Jardin des Tuileries, Rue de Rivoli, Concorde, and the Champs-Élysées for 8 laps to finish off the 99th edition of the Tour de France. The Tour de France 2012 will have 20 stages and a prologue, 3,480 kilometers. The first week expresses a new will to offer, almost as soon as it starts, roads and stages that will entertain the race, like the cobblestones in 2012 or the Mur de Bretagne last year. Final hill at Serein.